Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Happy Sabbath. I hope everyone is doing well today, putting their troubles behind them and forgetting the insanity of the world, as I am doing. Most certainly. All right, this is going to be my reading of the week. I try to do one of these, in the midweek too. I just don't get to it that often. But, yeah, it's been busy. Anyway. As I typically do, I will turn to Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4, and recite or quote or pray the Shema. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh is one, and you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all of your heart, with all of your being, and with all of your might. I find it interesting how it replaces the word soul with being in this book, because it would say with all of your soul in other books, but yeah. Anyway, we left off right at chapter 26, chapter 25 of Genesis, that is. They just went over where Jacob had cooked the stew for Esau and took his birthright from him. So, yeah. I mean, literally, he didn't literally take it. I think he may extorted it, maybe. I guess is how you could put it, but yeah. I mean, yeah. We'll just leave it at that. I don't have any comments on it. Brothers will be brothers, right? Alright, chapter 26. I'm just going to get started. I don't have any coffee for this one, unfortunately. I should have made some coffee. I have water, though. Hey. Yeah, I'll just leave the camera where it is. Alright. Reading, it's not my strong suit, so here we go. Wish me luck. Alright, Genesis 26. And there was a scarcity of food in the land, besides the first scarcity of food, which was in the days of Abraham and Isaac. And Isaac went to Abimelech, sovereign of the Philistines, in Gerar. A scarcity of food. And Yahweh appeared to him and said, Do not go down to Mitzrayim. Live in the land which I command you. Sojourn in this land, and I shall be with you and bless you. For I give you all of these lands to you and your seed. And I shall establish an oath which I swore to Abraham your father. And I shall increase your seed like the stars of the heavens. And I shall give you all these lands to your seed. And in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice, and guarded my charge, my commands, my laws, and my Torah. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And when the men of the place asked about his wife, he said, She is my sister. For he was afraid to say, She is my wife, thinking, At least the men of this place should kill me for Rebekah, because she is good looking. What's that remind you of? Like father, like son, right? And it came to be, when he had been there a long time, Abimelech, sovereign of the Philistines, looked through the window, and he watched and saw Isaac playing with Rebekah his wife. So Abimelech called Isaac and said, See, truly she is your wife. So how could you say she is my sister? And Isaac said to him, Because I said, Lest I die on account of her. And Abimelech said, What is this you have done to us? One of the people had almost lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us. And Abimelech commanded all his people, saying, He who touches this man or his wife shall certainly be put to death. And Isaac sowed in the land, and reaped in the same year 100-fold, and Yahweh blessed him. 100-fold. Could you imagine? And the man grew great, and went forward until he became very great. And he came to have possessions of flocks, and possessions of herds, and great body of servants, and the Philistines envied him. And the Philistines had stopped up all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father, and filled them with dirt. And Abimelech said to Isaac, Go away from us, you are much mightier than we. So Isaac went from there and pitched his tent in the Wadi Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac dug again the wells of water which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham, and he called them by the names which his father had called them. But when Isaac's servants dug the wadi and found a well of running water there, the herdsmen of Gerar strove with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the well Ezek, because they strove with him. And they dug another well, and they strove over that one too. And he called its name Sitnah. And he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not strive over it. And he called its name Rehoboth, and said, For now Yahweh has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And from there he went up to Beersheba, and Yahweh appeared to him that same night and said, I am the Elohim of your father Abraham. Do not fear, for I am with you, and shall bless you and increase your seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he built a slaughter place there, and called on the name of Yahweh, and he pitched his tent there. And the servants of Isaac dug a well there. And Abimelech came to him from Gerar with Athuzah, one of his friends, and Pekol, the commander of his army. And Isaac said to them, Why have you come to me, seeing you have hated me and have sent me away from you? But they said, We have clearly seen that Yahweh is with you, and we said, Please, let there be an oath between us, between you and us. Let us make a covenant with you, that you do not do no evil to us, as we have not touched you, and as we have done only good toward you, and have sent you away in peace. You are now blessed by Yahweh. And he made them a feast, and they ate and drank. And they rose early in the morning, and swore an oath with one another. And Isaac let him go, and they departed from him in peace. And on the same day it came to be that the servants of Isaac came and informed him about the well which they had dug, and said to him, We have found water. So he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. And when Esau was 40 years old, he took wives, Yehudith, the daughter of, probably Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Basemath, that's what it says, Basemata, Basemath, yeah. Anyway, the daughter of Elon, Elon, the Hittite. And they were a bitterness of spirit to Isaac and Rebekah. A bitterness of spirit. Yeah, there's a lot to be learned from that particular chapter. But I'm not going to give too much commentary today because brain's not working at 100%, as it hasn't been for the last several days. I'm going to continue on with Genesis 27. And it came to be, when Isaac was old, and his eyes were too dim to see, that he called Esau, his elder son, and said to him, My son. And he answered him, Here I am. And he said, See now, I am old. I do not know the day of my death. He was preparing to die. Now then, please take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt wild game for me, and make me a tasty dish such as I love, and bring it to me to eat, in order that my being does bless you before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt wild game, and to bring it. And Rebekah spoke to Jacob, her son, saying, See, I heard your father speak to Esau your brother, saying, Bring me wild game, and make me a tasty dish to eat, and bless you in the presence of Yahweh before my death. And now, son, listen to my voice according to what I command you. Please go to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats, and I make a tasty dish from them for your father, such as he loves. And you shall take it to your father, and he shall eat it. so that he might bless you before his death. Some deceit going on in the family, isn't it? And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, See, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth-skinned man. That's just funny. That's just funny. What if my father touches me? Then I shall be like a deceiver in his eyes, and shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing. But his mother said to him, Let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go, get them for me. Better listen to your mama. And he went and fetched them, and brought them to his mother. And his mother made a tasty dish, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took the best garments of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the young goat on his hands and on his smooth parts of his neck. Then she gave the tasty dish and the bread which she had prepared into her hand of her son Jacob. And when he went to his father and said, My father, and he said, Here I am. Who are you, my son? And Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you said to me. Please rise and sit and eat of my wild game, so that your being might bless me. Your being might bless me. There's that word again. So he's being blessed from his soul, supposedly, according to some translations. But Isaac said to his son, How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because Yahweh your Elohim brought it to me. Then Isaac said to Jacob, Please come near me so that I may feel you, my son, whether you are truly my son Esau or not. And Jacob went near to Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. And he blessed him. And he said, You are truly my son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and let me eat of my son's wild game, so that my being might bless you. So he brought it near him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said to him, Please come near me and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his garments, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is like the smell of the field which Yahweh has blessed. And Elohim give you the dew of the heavens, of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be master over your brothers, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be those who cursing you, and blessed be those blessing you. And it came to be, as soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had hardly left the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he had too made a tasty dish, and brought it to his father, and said to his father, Let my father rise and eat of his son's wild game, so that your being might bless me. And his father Isaac said to him, Who are you? And he said, I am your son, your firstborn, Esau. Then Isaac trembled exceedingly, and said, Who was it then who hunted wild game and brought it to me? And I ate of all of it before you came, and I have blessed him. Yes, he is blessed. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, Bless me too, O my father. And he said, Your brother came with deceit and took your blessing. And Esau said, Was his name then called Jacob? For he has caught me by the heel these 2 times. He took my birthright, and see, now he has taken my blessing. And he said, Have you not reserved a blessing for me? Then Isaac answered and said to him, Esau, see, I have made him your master, and all his brothers I have given to him as servants, and I have sustained with him grain and wine. And what then shall I do for you, my son? And Esau said to his father, Have you only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, O father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said to him, See, your dwelling is one of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heavens from above. and your sword are to live and serve your brother. And it shall be, when you grow restless, that you shall break his yoke from your neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father draw near. Then I am going to kill my brother Jacob. Let brothers be brothers, right? And the word to Esau, her older son, were reported to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said to him, see, your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you, to kill you. And now, my son, listen to my voice, and rise, flee to my brother Laban in Haran, and stay with him a few days, until your brother's wrath turns away, until your brother's displeasure turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him. And I shall send, and I shall send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereaved of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob takes a wife from the daughters of Heth, like these who are the daughters of the land, what is my life to me? A lot of deceit going on in the family right about then, wasn't there? It's interesting, the blessing, how important it was, how much faith, I guess, went into the blessing, that he said what he said, and then it's true. Even the fact that he is now a ruler over even his older brother, because there's only one blessing. There's a lot to be taken from that. I will go ahead with Genesis 28. We'll probably end at 29. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him, and commanded him and said to him, do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise and go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take a wife for yourself from there, the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. And El Shaddai bless you, and make you fruitful, and increase you, and you shall become an assembly of peoples, and give you the blessing of Abraham to you and your seed with you, so that you inherit the land of your sojournings, which Elohim had gave to Abraham. So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Padan Aram, to Laban, son of Bethuel, and Amaran, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. And Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padan Aram to take himself a wife from there. And as he blessed him and gave him a command, saying, do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan, and Jacob had obeyed his father, and his mother had gone to Padan Aram. So Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Isaac, and Esau went to Ishmael, and took Maliah, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nabal, to be his wife, besides the wives he had. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he came upon a place and stopped over for the night. And the sun had set, and he took one of those stones of the place and put it in his head, and he lay down on the place to sleep. So he was using a stone as a pillow, basically. And he dreamed and saw a ladder set up on the earth, and its top reached to the heavens, and saw messengers of Elohim going up and coming down on it. And see, Yahweh stood above it and said, I am Yahweh, Elohim of Abraham your father, and the Elohim of Isaac. The land on which you are lying I give to you and your seed. And your seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and you shall break forth to the west and to the east, and to the north and to the south. And all the clans of the earth shall be blessed in you and your seed. And see, I am with you, and shall guard you wherever you go, and shall bring you back to this land. For I am not going to leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you. Those are some powerful words to hear from the one and only Almighty, isn't it? I give you this land, and I will never leave you. And Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, Truly Yahweh is in this place, and I did not even know it. And I did not know it. He didn't say even. And he was afraid and said, How awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of Elohim, and this is the gate of the heavens. And Jacob rose early in the morning and took the stone that he had put at his head and set it up as a standing column and poured oil on top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel. However, the name of that city has been Luz previously. And Jacob made a vow, saying, Seeing Elohim is with me, and has kept me in his way that I am going, and has given me bread to eat and a garment to put on, when I have returned to my father's house in peace, and Yahweh has been my Elohim, then this stone which I have set as a standing column shall be Elohim's house, and all of that you give me I shall certainly give a tenth to you. Tithing. There's a lot to be said about that. Giving a tenth of all you have to the Father. If you do it correctly, the blessings to you could be enormous. 100-fold. I'm going to tell you a quick story I heard from a pastor I used to listen to about tithing and listening to the Father. There was three of them, the pastor and his two friends. I think they were all three pastors, actually. They were driving through, I believe it was Louisiana, because that's where they're from. And the pastor I'm referring to is Jesse Duplantis, actually. And he has a story on his channel you can listen to. But one of the men saw this old junk of a piece of land that's just, very little tiny piece of land. And it was for sale for $3,000. And the father told him to buy that land for $3,000. And he did. And he was trying to get the other two friends with him to go in on it. It's like, hey, if you just give me $1,000, we'll all go in on this land, because the father told me to buy this land. And, the other two pastors are looking at this land and they're saying, yeah, that's junk. Why do you want that? It's trash. It's junk. We don't want nothing to do with that. Why do you want that? The father told me to buy it. They didn't want nothing to do with it. About 2 months later, the interstate highway was coming through the area, and they bought that land from him for $3 million. Talk about tenfold, right? So, yeah, there's lessons there about listening. Listening is key. Being able to hear. If you want to listen and hear very well, do a fast and then go out into the middle of nowhere. Listen, talk. Have your first meal after you listen and talk. Out there in the wilderness. Over a fire. It's better in the cold too. There's no bugs. Anyway, this has been James. You know what channel this is. I don't bother saying it on these videos. I don't monetize these videos either. And I encourage nobody to do any business transaction on the Sabbath, because that is bad. And there was some talk about the Sabbath on my channel on one of the videos recently. Very recently. About what day the Sabbath is. And there's a lot of people that say the Sabbath is whatever day you take it as the Sabbath, but that's not what it says in my book. I encourage you guys, read your book, read it, try to understand, and do as it says, because that's really as simple as that. It really is. Alright, like I said, this is James. I'm shutting up. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Remember, live stream with Homestead Oz tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.